Give it a second. All right, here we go.
You always got to sneak one in.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I didn't know he was doing a countdown. I just looked up. I'm like, damn, let me get it out real quick. All right.
Are you
Just
gonna hit
yeah.
play?
I'm just waiting on it to pop up on YouTube. That's all.
Take a sippy.
Because it says we're live on YouTube, but
I ain't getting no.
I'm not getting an image. There we go. All right. I'm playing the intro, guys.
Hey, listen, the main thing I want this podcast to be about, okay, is about us being friends, all right, and we fucking woke.
Hey, how you doing?
Well,
Welcome to 2A Brotherhood, and the quote of the day is no whores in 2024.
hey, that's a good one. That only applies to two of us.
Yes.
And times are getting only worse out there for you two fellas. Good luck.
Yeah, right. God bless you. Good luck
Bless
finding the
you.
wife.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I don't mess
just
with
go-
whores.
Just go to start going overseas. No, but
Yeah.
on the dog convo that we were having. So with Jax, no, for real, like with Jax, you guys seen him? He's a pussy, all right?
Mm-hmm.
He growled at Victor before. Oh shit!
Damn.
Growled at the oldest
I
one.
just fucked up. Timestamp.
Clicky.
Yes. Oh, let me make a mark.
Off to a bad
There
start.
we go.
Right.
Right.
And then
Dimitri, the one usually getting on us about it.
No, I try to be as non-fuck-upable as possible, but anyway,
Mr. Perfect fucked up.
he also growled at the youngest one too,
Michael.
and
Didn't growl at
you
Michael.
guys saw him. He was a pussy, but
Hold on.
because they were getting in their face, that's what kids do. Like they get in the dog's face,
Mm-hmm.
and with the oldest, he only did it one time, and I gave him a backhand and stood over him. Was like, "You touch him, you will be dead in the backyard." And then
I
he
was
never
about to
did it
ask
with
you
him
that.
again.
Did an ass
Right.
whooping ensue?
Oh yeah. And then when he did it to the youngest, I did the same thing, except this time I was even more pissed off because he did it twice. So he got a little more of a correction on
But
that
he didn't
one.
do it to Victor.
Well, so we all. Oh, come on, man. So
He
all
did
right.
it to both.
So we all know like pit bulls and their stereotypes, right? Well, that's what I have, and I have a daughter, right? I have a young infant daughter or toddler now.
What's her name again? I'm just kidding.
her
I'm
name
about
is
to say it.
her name is shut the fuck up. It's trademarked. You can't take it either.
Fuck it all up today.
But yeah, so we have a pit bull, right? And everyone knows the stereotypes behind pit bulls. Now, whether I agree with the stereotypes or not, is another debate. But that pit bull, her name's Penny. I will say her name. Has tested me before. Okay, she has tested me. She has snapped at me. She has growled at me. She has tested me every single time. It's all about securing dominance. Okay, dogs have the instinct of who is the pack leader. Every time she's done that, I have not backed away from her. I have not shown fear. I get in her face. I hold her down right by the neck. I don't abuse her, okay, but I will hold her down by the neck because that's what dogs do, okay.
They also
Eh,
humped the other dog too.
I hold her down by the neck and I look her in the face and I show dominance and I do not break eye contact until she does. All right. It's all about showing dominance. So with aggressive dogs, my dog has never snapped at my daughter, has never she's afraid of my daughter because she's afraid of what I will do because she sees that I care about my daughter and she knows that I don't hurt her. I've never hurt her. I've never done anything to show that I will hurt her, but she knows that I will hurt her if she touches my daughter, because my daughter is part of my pack and she is an important member of my pack. So it's all about showing dominance. And I've trained dogs before. Like me and Rob were talking. I had a lab that I trained for bird retrieval, for duck hunting. With yes, labs are bred for that, but not every lab knows how to do it. They have specific features that make it easier for them to do bird retrieval, like their coat, you know, the like their coat, their bite, everything that makes it easier for it. But you have to train that dog to have a soft bite. You know how hard it is to train a dog to have a soft bite, to be able to carry an egg in its mouth and not break it, to be able to go and pick up a bird and not break through the skin.
You should train a dog how to whisper too.
It's but
It's like
like
a
it
quiet bark, like
Like you'll be like the dog whisperer or something.
yeah, but not every lab knows how to do it. So while yes, the whole point of this is I want a German Shepherd, and I have
Sherman
a young
Shepherd.
toddler. While yes, big dogs are intimidating and do require effort and work, as long as you show some effort, you show some work, and put in the work for it, then they could be very good guard dogs for your child. They
That
could
is
be,
true.
yeah. Like, have you ever seen the videos of? There's one guy on TikTok. He's got like 6 German shepherds and a daughter, and these dogs follow her around like 24/7 bodyguards. If
Yeah.
Mhm.
anyone comes near that child, they pounce on it.
Yes, but that is a shit ton of training, dude.
Hmm.
Like it's not like a couple of hours here. I worked
It
late
is a lot.
today. I'm gonna skip it. Like that's not how it works.
Hmm.
You
Gum
like
the
it's
egg.
constant. It's constant, dude. It's
Hmm.
like those
Yeah.
dogs that you're looking at get like 6 to 8 hours of training every
Hmm.
single day for
Hmm.
a long period of time. And then they still have continuing training so they don't break that training.
Hmm.
Because you could train your
Yeah.
dog. I trained Jax to do a lot of shit. And then I had kids and I didn't have the time to spend with him of all the tricks and stuff that I taught him. And they go out the window.
Hmm.
I did. Sorry, were you finished, Dimitri?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just
Uh,
saying, dude, like it takes a lot of freaking training to to like have those dogs that trust me, I would love to have a dog like that too, man. That to have 2 dogs follow my kids around everywhere, that would be freaking awesome.
yeah.
Hmm.
I do wanted to shout out one of my friends. I guess I can put the information in the bio or whatever. But he went to the what is known as the Harvard of dog training schools.
Hmm.
For like aggressive dogs and for I guess what I assume is dogs who are trained to be what are they called? The dogs who walk with people who have disabilities. What are they
Hmm.
called?
Service
Oh,
dogs.
Service
yeah.
dogs. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So he started his own business and he got his credentials from the what they call the
Season one.
Harvard of Dog School Training.
Hmm.
So I'll I just wanted to give him a shout out.
I
I
heard
served with him in New York, so that information I can put in the bio. But yeah, go ahead.
I heard the biggest thing with those dogs, like that help people with disabilities, is just overloading them with like scents and smells when they're like very young puppies. So
Mhm.
that way they don't get distracted by like a new scent or a new smell. So they just like when they're puppies, I don't know if this is true. I heard this, but they just overload them with scents. Just let them go out and just smell everything when they're puppies.
Yeah.
So that way they kind of already know it.
Well, I saw this one documentary, and this little boy would get seizures really bad,
Hmm.
and he would knock his head on the floor.
Hmm.
So he got a service dog that knew like he would sense like the different secretions in his pores,
Mhm.
So that's how he knew he was about to have a seizure. And
Dang,
he
dude,
would
that's
always
wild.
go, right? And he would go and lay down next to the boy because he knew he was going to fall out. So he
Mhm.
would lay next to him. So when the kid would start seizuring, his head would land on the dog and he wouldn't bang his head on the ground. And then
Mhm.
the dog had a certain bark that they taught him to alert the parents because like this kid would
That's a
have
good
seizures
doggy.
all the time,
Bro,
right?
Yeah.
we do
That's a
not
good
deserve
doggy.
dogs. We do
No.
not
We don't,
deserve
man.
them.
So there's one dog I know. I can't remember what kind of dog it is. I think it's like a poodle mixed with some. It's one of those like poodle hair
A
type dogs, like
labradoodle.
like it's not a labradoodle, but it's like it's got like
Snickerdoodle?
that fluffy curly coat. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And it's about the size of what a labradoodle would be, but I don't think it's a labradoodle. But these people I know have this dog, right? This
Mhm.
dog is like super hyper. It's always been super hyper and like always misbehaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they sent it out to a training school, and it was in the middle of summer, and it was one of those like go away type training schools where they
Mm-hmm.
take your dog for like a week.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
apparently they had these dogs outside all day in like this hot shed, and it got so bad that this dog um it like fried its brain like an egg. That's what they told me. And
Mm.
and so now the dog's just like, it's not only hyper, but it's also really stupid. So I call it fried egg.
Like you got
Every time I see it, I call it fried egg, which is
like
kind of
heat,
messed up.
like you got heat stroke or something, or
Yeah, something like that. But it's like,
what the heck?
yeah, so it's like I'm really hesitant because of that story. Like I'm really hesitant about like training places, just
Does it
because
listen though?
I no, it doesn't. It's really stupid. Like it's a very stupid dog because its brain was fried basically. Like it doesn't know
Yeah.
anything. Like it doesn't know how to sit. It doesn't know how to do anything.
Did it know how to
Um,
do that before it was put in the hot
yeah,
box
it knew how to
or whatever?
In the hot
sit,
box.
lay. Like it knew basic commands like sit, lay, paw, stuff like that. Now it doesn't know
Shut the fuck
anything.
up.
Dude,
The only
that's
thing it knows how
crazy.
to do is just eat and jump.
And
That's all
shit.
it does is just eat and jump. Yeah,
Man.
It don't shit
but
and
this,
piss.
I
Well,
mean, obviously.
I'm fucking with you.
I've seen the
I'm fucking with
videos from the school that this guy graduated
Mhm.
from, and you know, they didn't treat the dogs like that there.
Mhm.
Let me look back on our messages. You guys can you can keep talking and stuff, but I
Does
will
he
find the name of the school that he attended.
does he the
Oh.
Mulan go there?
But
I don't know.
I feel like getting like a German Shepherd, right, or like something like that at a young age was like a puppy, right, and bringing it up around the children is also a big key to help, you know, because it creates that bond with that child, so they're less likely to snap. Well, yeah, every dog is going to see it, but it's better to have the dog when the child's young as a puppy rather than bringing the child in as an adult dog and trying to introduce it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Just
You
be
know,
careful. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's all I was
Just
trying
don't
to tell
get
you, man. It's not that
yeah,
easy. Well,
yeah,
don't get a big dog and just assume that, you being the pack
even if
leader.
they're trained, even if they're
Yeah.
trained, man.
yeah.
Yeah, man. It's one of the I don't know if you've ever seen kids that got bit in the face because they always get bit in the face. They're like at
Hmm.
eye level.
Yeah.
It's horrific, dude. Like
Hmm.
they lose their eye, missing nose. I mean, permanently scarred on their face. Some kids die.
Hmm.
You know
Hmm.
Yeah.
that's right. Like that, I was worried about with Jax. You know what I mean? But the good thing with Jax is like you could get in his face.
Hmm.
There's certain dogs, like it doesn't matter the breed. If you get in their face, they're biting you.
Yeah.
And
Like
their
it doesn't.
food too. Their
It's just
Yeah,
food.
like
and their food.
it's just like
That's
my.
why I told my sister she has like one of those little labradoodle thingies.
Hmm.
It's like a miniature one though.
Hmm.
His name is Coco, and like when my nieces would walk across the room where her food was, and she was in there eating, or he was in there eating, you just heard him growl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell
And
nah.
Yeah, and I told my sister, I'm like, hey, like, and she's like, yeah, he's food aggressive. I'm like, yeah, you need to nip that in the bud.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you need to
Yeah.
handle
You
that
know what
right
I mean?
now.
And that's something you
And I
have to.
told her what I did with Jax. So what I told, what the, I thought it was cool because I saw it on the internet. Is you make them pray for their food.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Seen
like,
that, yeah.
hey, yeah, it's not like the dog can know Jesus. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the cool thing about it is like they're praying over your food, but you are telling him you cannot have this food until I tell you to.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows you have control of the food. So
Yeah.
he can't be food dominant.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I did it with Jax. I mean, there was times that I would forget to tell Jax go get it. Like after I prayed for his food, I'd go into the next room and I come back and he's just laying on the ground looking up at me like, "Can I have this shit?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I always tell people this story, right? My sister has a chow, right?
Oh God.
And I don't know if everyone knows about like chows. They're very aggressive dogs, uh,
Mm-hmm.
adorable dogs, but
Yeah,
they're
they are.
very aggressive. And and we were at Thanksgiving one year, and in her at her house, and it was my sister, her husband, my family, and her husband's family, right? And
Mm.
her husband's sister was kneeling down, and we don't know the full story. She says she wasn't. uh Me and my wife say that we thought she saw her do this, like try to feed her a treat from her mouth, like white women, typical white women trying to give every dog a kiss,
Yeah.
and the dog literally bit her lip off. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
had to pick up her lip, put it in a bag of ice, and send it off with her to the hospital. Bit
Jeez.
her lip off. Okay. And this dog has growled at me, has snapped at me every time I'm around. And it's just, she's an aggressive dog, but very, very protective over my niece. Very, and she's an infant, very protective over my niece.
Mm.
But they're still even cautious with her around my niece as well, and that's their dog. They
Yeah, I
don't let
know.
her get around her, and she's also a dog that's very food protective. Um,
So the reason why chows are like that is because they're retarded. It's
yeah.
kind of like the same thing as Dalmatians.
Hmm.
Dalmatians have been inbred so much that
Yeah.
they're just cuckoo
So
for Cocoa Puffs.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
that's why
this is
they
a
have so
good
many problems.
advertisement for Josh's friend's school, everybody.
Hmm.
Josh, did you ever find out about that website?
I did. So the name of the trainer or the owner, his name it's called the Tom Rose School, and right here I have a quick bio. He's been a professional dog trainer since 1968. He is one of the
Hmm.
top trainers in America, personally training and supervising the training of well over 300 dogs per year. He wrote a couple books, and um, the particular class that my friend attended was to become a dog trainer for. Uh, no, so the school he attended specializes in dog training dogs to make them uh, to be police dogs, military dogs, bomb sniffer, search and rescue, drugs, tracking, service dogs, agility, and advanced obedience. And so
Nice.
basically, military and police kind of dogs.
Hmm.
And so he started his business, and he's going to be, yeah, pretty much training tactical dogs. It's like so cool seeing those that in overseas, they put they'll put like live feed cameras on dogs,
Hmm.
when they go
Hmm.
and sniff out for bombs and stuff, or like just go and scout a location. And man, those dogs are so loyal, and like they respond to commands so well. It's
Hmm.
incredible how much you can train into a dog. You know what I mean? To
Hmm.
accurately conduct a mission. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Even better than a human could. You know,
yeah.
You know,
I've
it's
always
fascinating actually. You know.
it is.
I've always wanted to be able to like have a dog that could sniff like bombs and everything, because it's like, dude, that could happen at any time. You could be walking in a parking garage, and you could never know there was like a bomb right there. But just having, like, I feel like if more people had like bomb sniffing dogs, like, it'd be less to worry about. Like, that'd be cool. But I don't know if you could train, if you can like take them to training for like drug sniffing and like bomb sniffing and stuff like that. Like, if as a civilian you could like train a dog for that.
You probably could. I know you
Yeah.
could buy the like John Jones,
Hmm.
the UFC heavyweight. He has one of those Mala mules that Rob was talking about.
Hmm.
I forgot his
You
name.
mean
Well,
Belgian Malinois?
Yeah,
I
that one. He has one of them, and like this dog just stays by him. They go on runs together. I forgot his name,
well,
and
I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, and I always thought like that'd be mad cool. Like you just have this dog that follows you around everywhere, and you know what I mean, got your back, kind of
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
And he responds to all of his commands. But so that goes into that training that I was saying. Like even that dog, him and John Jones train an hour every single day after he was fully trained to be John's dog,
Hmm.
right? Then now they have to make him John's dog.
Hmm.
So he trains with them, but he's also a stinking millionaire, and he doesn't have to work every single day.
Yeah.
He's got
That's
nannies and
true. Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
But so I think those training courses are so they're open to the public. So if you really wanted to invest your money into training your dog to sniff bombs or to sniff drugs or to, be some kind of like bodyguard kind of dog,
Hmm.
you could, if you really wanted to spend your money to do that. I don't think it's specifically. I mean, I'm sure they have contracts with the, local PD and the military, maybe.
Hmm.
Because I mean, a school like the Tom Rose School is probably has a lot of contracts with the Department of Defense or whatever.
Hmm.
But but yeah, it would be. I mean, imagine, dude, having a dog that is fully ready, as fully battle ready, ready to go to war. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? At your side, in a
Yeah.
regular urban environment. You know.
And
Hmm.
that's what I'm talking about. Like, we're talking about doing this training with H and everything, right? Like, imagine how cool it would be to take this dog if he lets, obviously it wouldn't be this time, but if he allows it, like, take your dog there to do the training with you. Like, do live fire training with the dog, clearing buildings,
That would be cool.
like that would
Mm-hmm.
that would take it to like the next level. Get a kit for the dog, like
Hmm.
that would
Look,
take it to
carrier.
the yeah, that would take it to the whole next
Right,
level.
dude. The dog has the body. The dog has like a IBA or a
Mhm.
flick, and then with the Velcro that shows its blood type and everything.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That would be dope, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, that would be pretty tough.
Like that's a slick thing to
Dude,
do.
I can't wait for that training, man. It's gonna be so much fun.
Me
But
neither, man. I'm excited.
I
yeah.
can't wait, dude. It's like a month away. I'm like itching. I need
Yeah.
to get one of these dang plate carriers, though.
But yeah, that would be
I,
slick,
I,
just
hey,
to have that.
he told you get the one that I said before that you said was too much, man. Wasn't that
Yeah, I know.
exactly what I told you, Dimitri?
I want that X one, but they don't have the multicam, and I'm like torn between that,
Get
waiting
the
to see if it'll
tropical
come
one.
in stock. Yeah, but
Get
that does that when I'm not gonna be in a tropical rainforest for
yo.
this thing to
If
blend in.
if you look at it, it's the same thing, but just a little bit darker.
Yeah, I know. I seen it.
I'm
Oh,
pretty sure
But
they have
I
they have
want a
Molly.
black one.
I wanted to also mention to you, Dimitri, you were talking about getting a sleeping bag, right?
Hmm.
So, I don't know if a lot of you guys know this or not, but one of the issues in World War II that soldiers had with issued gear was a sleeping bag they had. It was kind of like one of those mummy sleeping bags, that zip up and everything.
Mhm.
And one of their main issues with it was that it took forever to get out of it, in a case to where they started taking fire and they needed to react quickly. Sleeping bags are actually, I meant to say this the last time, but I forgot. Sleeping bags are actually not very good for survival situations in a combat type environment,
Mhm.
because when you're in that area, like, getting out of it quickly is an issue. Rather having like a blanket and like a lean-to,
Mhm.
where you can quickly react,
You said a lean-to? What the fuck is
Yeah,
that?
like a
it's
lean-to.
covered, not
Yeah,
covered, but it's like a house kind of. What what's the proper word to say it? I can't think of it.
it's basically
Shelter,
Like a
shelter. Yeah.
makeshift,
quick
yeah,
shelter, quick
It,
yeah, a
shelter.
makeshift shelter, yeah,
so basically, like,
So,
it's a lean-to. So basically, it's leaning to like a post, and you kind of sleep underneath of it, so rain doesn't get on you.
yeah.
You could have a
We used
like,
to use our
fire outside.
ponchos or our bivy
Mhm.
covers or whatever.
Yeah, so you could have like a fire outside of it, and like feel the fire. Um, but you could
Yo,
also get
Austin,
out of it quickly.
you need to come, man. Come
But
on, Austin, man.
yeah, but the point is that during World War II, yeah, that was like one of the biggest issues with issued gear that soldiers had, was the sleeping bag. While yes, it kept them warm, a lot warmer than the wool blanket, it also took away vital seconds that they had to react to incoming fire and mortar attack. So that's a very good
Mhm.
thing to consider before,
Yeah,
purchasing a sleeping bag.
that sounds like getting into a gunfight while you in your vehicle and staying in your vehicle. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
because you're
And
not gonna.
having a pistol like readily accessible and in like a in a car, you know what I mean? Having like people have holsters that are like bolted to the siding of their
Mhm,
vehicles, like
Mhm.
down by where the emergency brake is, or bolted to the inside of their door, you know what I mean? Where they can just grab the gun real quick, you know what I mean, and
yeah,
engage.
because you're not
Yeah,
gonna be
but
able to tactically return fire in a sleeping bag. You get
but
what I'm saying?
everybody says
you
that been in that
inchworm.
situation is to get out the
Pop, pop,
car.
pop. Mm,
Because if you
mm,
get in a shootout
pop,
in your
pop, pop.
car, they say it's a tomb.
Yeah, but that's vital seconds that you have that you're losing,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I have. If I am the oppressor coming up on you, right? Like the enemy coming to attack you, that's giving me more time to get closer to you, to then get to your position and
Are you
basically
talking
take
about
you
the
out.
car or a sleeping bag?
The sleeping bag still.
Of course. Okay, I thought you were talking about.
Well,
Of course.
so you remember so when you typically when you do those missions and stuff, you
Hmm.
get to the location where you're going to set up like a hasty fighting position
Hmm.
where it's not a position you're going to be there for long. You're going
Hmm.
to be there in and out probably maybe a day,
Hmm.
and you know how you do your range card, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so you have your card and you write out the terrain features that are immediately surrounding you,
Hmm.
so you do sort of have an idea of like what's happening around you and like the terrain, ideally upper ground against the enemy force. So uh, when you do have that, you hear, let's say you hear some gunfire, at least you might have a little bit of time before the enemy
Hmm.
is like ascend, because they have to ascend the hill or whatever. but
Hmm.
uh but like you said, like 9 times out of 10 you have more of an advantage, at least when it comes to like military stuff, like
Hmm.
like war. I'm not talking about like civilian, like engaging active shooters and stuff,
Yeah.
um, but typically you would assume, if it's in an area that you know what I mean, like around your workplace or around your home, you know what I mean.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
you just know the area a little bit better. So
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, like, you're talking about like different camos. Like, Uh, like honestly, yeah, camo isn't really going to cover every terrain. You know, you might one day be in a heavily wooded area, and the next day you're trying to get to a point, and you might end up in a more urban area. Um, the camo is not really the big feature. It's being able to blend in with your surroundings. So if you're in like a heavily wooded area, some like ranger green would be good. And then you take the foliage around you, like
Mm.
bushes that are in that area that are known to that area, and use it to create a camouflage. Um,
Yeah, like a
that's what a
ghillie
lot,
suit, like
yeah, that's what a lot of like
they do
snipers
in
do. That's
So
what
yeah.
yeah,
snipers do. They take the foliage from that area and
mhm.
they make their ghillie suits with that particular stuff. So like the
So
camo's not as important, it's being able to blend in with your environment with the stuff that you have.
so H has a video. I don't know if it was on the one that got banned, but he basically said how to make a homemade ghillie suit. Get some burlap bags,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
right? And then there was like a special kind of string that he had that you would just tie it through the burlap bag, and then
Hmm.
you like unwound the string, and it got all fuzzy.
Hmm.
And that's
Probably burlap.
him and yeah, and him and his son had made some ghillie suits,
Yeah.
which is
Nice.
really freaking
It's
cool.
easy, yeah.
But
Was
the
it like
thing about them
And
is
that's what
that,
he said.
butchers?
Like that, he was like, the next thing you do is wherever you're gonna lay down or take cover, you get all the foliage around you,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you tie it into the ghillie suit.
yeah. So like the multicam, OCP, whatever,
Don't use
digicam,
ACU.
whatever, it doesn't really matter as much as being able to use the surroundings you have, the stuff you have in your area to blend in with that environment. While yes, it is important because if you're walking around, you're not sticking out like a sore thumb wearing high vis, you
Yeah.
know, but
Mm-hmm.
being able to take what you have and blend into multiple different environments. Because
Yeah, being
if
smart.
you're wearing if you're wearing OCP and you're walking in an urban area, you're not going to blend in as well um as if you were, you know, wearing Ranger green in like a heavily wooded green forest.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's like it's different, like they work, but they're gonna have a different impact depending on where you're at. So, and you have to think in a real world survival situation, if you're trying to move from one place to another and you have to go through different environments, you have to be able to blend in with different environments.
Yeah. And the whole idea behind the UCP, the universal camouflage pattern,
Hmm.
which was they called the ACU pattern, which
Hmm.
was the digital pattern that was supposed to blend
It's
in with everything,
trash. Trash.
blended in with nothing.
Yeah,
Um,
trash.
I
How did
think
they figure that out?
one of the best I think is the BDU. The original
Hmm.
BDU was the best for the jungle, and number
Hmm.
Mhm.
two, the the Marine Corps made a digital version of the BDU that is probably one of the best for like autumn woodland
Hmm.
camouflage. And I like the
Bring them up.
Scorpion, the camo, the new Army uniform, the Air Force uniform. I think those
Beam
are like the
sword?
top three camouflages.
Yeah.
Bring them up, Josh.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
You look them up.
like that was the issue with one of the jackets that they had also during World War II, was that it had a wool lining, right? But
Hmm.
it didn't blend in with the environment at all. I think it was too light for the environment. So soldiers